Two decorators and a microphone. The UK's first painting and decorating podcast with Trev and Ryan.
Got the right slider this time. Back again.
Happy Monday.
How we doing? Yeah, this one might be a little bit off. This one, I'm very tired. I regretfully was up until about 1:30, 2 o'clock last night. I told Dad I was being ill, but actually I was playing Halo Reach. But you know, it's just come out on PC. Of course, I'm going to play it.
Exactly.
I would have much rather have spent my today doing as well.
And it's not only that. We've been not me, but I've done a few weekends. But you've done, I don't know how many have you done.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I went on holiday in September, and I've worked pretty solid since then. Maybe like 2 or 3, maybe 4 Saturdays since September I've had off.
Yeah. And it's
not a lot.
It's like I say, it does sooner or later we'll catch up with you.
And it is starting to.
And
it is definitely starting to catch up with me. But
anyway, we won't detract from that. Let's be a little bit bright and bubbly and...
I was going to say that, you know, sometimes you do need to do it. Sometimes jobs need to get pushed on a bit.
Exactly.
It just is what it is, isn't it? And sometimes you got to work, and sometimes Dad's got to sit in the shed on a Wednesday and have the day off. But
yeah, I made this mistake.
It is what it is.
Don't. Yeah, if you're gonna tell a builder one thing and then you come on the podcast and say something else,
make sure that you don't listen. Hello, Michael.
Make sure that the builder you're working for doesn't listen.
Yeah.
Does tend to get a bit embarrassing.
We kind of forget sometimes that people do actually listen to this podcast. It's not just us in the shed talking crap about people.
Yeah,
in a private conversation. This does actually go up on the internet.
Actually,
people do actually listen to this.
Yeah, actually, last week was our best 2 podcasts we've released. We've got the most downloads for the Monday one and for the Thursday one. So
but we do have to issue a bit of an apology.
Oh yeah, to
Kuva. What was this? Kathy, yeah. Kathy, sorry Kathy.
This is Ryan.
Yeah, that was me. I just kind of assumed and I was wrong. I said she wasn't technical. I thought she was like sales or something, but she is technical. And yeah, my bad.
So
got it wrong.
We may be doing a little bit more in depth with them somewhere. So
more, yeah, as
more of an apology,
just to be like,
rather than anything.
Yeah. go over there with my tail between my legs.
Maybe it's one of those things. She was nervous.
Sit there for about 2 hours and give me the most in-depth technical explanation of all of their paints I've ever heard.
So if you're into Kuva, it's probably going to be one of the best podcasts ever.
So yeah, sorry Kathy, my bad. But also at the same time is that
it's a learning curve.
And we do talk a lot of crap, but don't trust us. Like, you know, you're full-grown people. Yeah. Do a bit of Googling, look it up yourself.
You're entitled to your own opinions.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust a lot of the things that we say without verifying it, to be honest, because we do talk a lot of crap.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know that if you listen to 1 or 2 of our podcasts.
Yeah, or just about 2 or 3 minutes of anything that we've put out. It's a lot of rubbish talking.
Definitely don't take what we say as gospel, because it could well be worth qualifying.
That's an easier one.
We'll have that word.
Yeah.
So
we don't. So we're not always right. More often than not,
we're wrong.
We get proved wrong, but we're going to carry on talking crap about people as it is anyway. Sorry if we annoy you.
Yeah. So I could tick that off the list then, right? So we've done a apology to Kathy from Kuva. So that's good.
Well, there's only 4 items on that list. This podcast can be zoomed through.
I can tick off remembering what I say to her on podcasts and not.
Yeah.
So that's good.
That's the other thing as well. We were thinking about this the other day that we don't actually really remember what we say on these a lot of the time.
Exactly.
Because I hate the sound of my own voice. I'm sorry for you people listening that have to listen to
Ryan never ever as I don't
my
listen
nasal
to one
voice.
of these.
I'm not listening to one of them all the way through. No. Normally Dad does a little play of it in the shed after we've recorded, just to see how it sounds. And I've normally walked out and having a fag by that point.
Yeah, I'm left to put it all together.
Hate the sound of my own voice.
But yeah, so we probably have repeated ourselves more than one occasion.
Yeah.
But that's the way it goes, unfortunately.
Yeah. And if we do repeat ourselves, that is just the way it goes, really.
And on that note, anything that we have said in the past regarding topics, they're still relevant. Still email us in. You know,
shout.
We'll still read them out. It's like I say.
I've had a good few people message me on Instagram, give me positive feedback. Yeah, Tucker Decorating. Your handyman sent me one today.
What about?
Just because I shouted him out on another podcast and he was listening to that on site.
Cool.
Just had quite a few good responses.
We've also got a website up now, which
2decks1mic.com.
.com, yeah. So that's got all our podcasts on. It's got a little bit of it's got some some comments from listeners, which are good.
And it's also got a nice wide selection of just random firms' logos.
No, it hasn't. Don't start that.
Oh, there's something we could go on about for an hour.
Okay, the reason why I got a call, or I got in touch, we spoke to the paint and decorating, whatever they called.
News? Paint and decorating
paint
news.
and decorating news. So no, that's why got hold of them to say, could they put something in about our podcast, get a bit more exposure?
Yeah. Do we really want more people listening to this?
Probably not. But anyway, so that's why I got in touch with them, and then they said, well, we're going to give you a call. And he said, if you've got a logo, if you send that, we'll put it on our website, and then in return I have to put it on our website. Okay. So it's a reciprocal, what do you call it?
Yeah.
So that's why. And then we talk about the Paint Shack a lot.
Yeah.
So that's on there.
In association with them, just because we like them.
Yeah, basically, sort of it's our website. We can do what we want on there. Yeah. So anyway, so that's the Paint Shack, and
you don't have to go through all
no,
of them.
I do. I feel like I've got to justify it now.
I honestly don't care that
You do
much.
care, because
really
otherwise you wouldn't have mentioned it.
No,
right.
but just look how fired up it gets you. That's all my entire existence is just based around.
Right. Well, just shut up then and let me explain.
And then letting you go and just letting you charge off. Go on.
Let me explain.
Go out for a
no, shut up. So Paint Shack and Paint and Decorating Show, news, whatever they call themselves, because they are to do with the Paint and Decorating Show as well. What else we got on there, right? Oh, CT1.
And we like CT1.
CT1, yeah, we've done a bit of work, not work with,
but with them.
But yeah, we've looked at their Peel Tech, which is brilliant, and we haven't got any of that multi-clean that you said we had.
Multi-solve, I'm sure we do.
We haven't. Have a look around the back.
Carry on talking then.
We got a box of products from CT1, and in it was that Peel Tech, which is brilliant stuff. And also we've got some CT1, which is their like cork and filler and sticky stuff all in one. So, but then Ryan said there's, what is it called, Ryan? Multi-what? Multi-solve, he reckons, but we haven't got any of it. He's convinced we have, but he's now looking down round the back to try and find some. You might be able to hear him. We haven't got any. So yeah, that's why CT1 are on there, because we've done a bit with them. And also,
get a bag from Dulux as well from your little night out.
If you'd have gone to the Dulux Awards, you'd have got one. If you'd have come.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dulux Select.
Is there anything there? No, that's not.
There's 2 bags there, and we share.
No, we're not sharing with you. You should have gone to get one.
I wasn't allowed. I'm not allowed on their forum.
You were allowed. Oh God, here we go. So CT1, and then what else is on there? Oh, Decorating Direct.
Yeah, and we like decorating. Who was his name?
Max. Yeah, and that's why Decorating Director on there, because Ryan likes them. So
yeah, but I also like my paintbrush, top deck brush. I also like big tits. Like, you know, we put in that on the website as well.
This is the Monday, Ryan. Behave yourself. So
that's not a swear word.
I know, but I was going to go off at that tangent, and don't encourage me to go down that road, because
you've been down that road before.
Yeah, we'll just leave that for a Thursday. So that's why.
Yeah.
Basically,
right,
it was basically it was Paint and Decorating News that made.
Well, this podcast has already cheered me up a bit, because I've got a bag of goodies that I didn't know I had.
It's not.
I've got a nice new blue Graco hat.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I do.
It's not yours.
Yes, it is. I'm taking it with me, my friend.
It's not yours.
I got some sleeves. I got a little sustainer.
Ryan,
you can have all of this crap.
No, Ryan, it's not for you. Don't be a. It's not for you. Put it back.
It is for me.
It's not.
I'm taking it. How is it not for me if there's 2 of them there and there's 2 of us doing this?
Because it wasn't.
Thank you, Vicky.
It's not in your. What? Don't try and be friends with Dulux now. Now you've slagged them off. Eh?
I don't slag off.
I'm not allowed on their forum.
No, I'm not allowed on their forums. That's not slagging them off.
Anyway, so that explains.
Did we actually have a point to?
Yeah, you were on about the website that we were.
I'm sure we got. No, I tell you what it is. Is we didn't get Multisolve. We got their Mitomate, their activator, and
at the show.
Super glue. Yeah.
So
I do want to try.
So what's the word then? Yeah,
I wasn't correct.
Yeah, so you are
not correct.
Yeah,
I'm
and you're
incorrect.
Yeah, and because of that, you're what?
I'm.
Oh, yeah, go on.
I'm wrong.
You're a man. You can say that word.
What?
Sorry. Yeah, exactly.
Is that Dutch or something?
Yeah, I think you got a vagina. Just say sorry.
No. Either way,
Yeah, so that was that. Wherever that went from. That was Ryan and me explaining myself about the website.
Yeah.
Not that I needed to, really.
No. My Builder? Are we gonna? That's the next on your list. We're smashing through this list. We'll see next week.
What about your content? Have you got anything to contribute?
No, because this week I was strapping on the backpack and carrying the firm once again.
You weren't.
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
How was I not?
Okay.
How long? What was the time frame that you had for that job? How long did you have for that job?
About 4 days.
Jog on. Well, you've not.
No.
How long did you think that job would take the two of us to do?
How is this?
How long?
But this. How is this?
How long did you think that job would take the two of us to do?
How is this? How is this interest to anybody listening to this show?
Because
they don't know the size of it. They don't know.
Well, they'll roughly know the size of it after you tell me how long you thought it would take the two of us to do.
I don't know without looking it up. Well,
look it up. I'll do a little monologue for a minute. Just how I went and looked for the multi-sol. You can now look up this.
I can't look it up.
So this job, it was a little bit of water damage repair on a bathroom ceiling, but the walls tiled, so didn't have to worry about the walls. And then another bit of water damage repair on another bathroom ceiling with about half of it walls. And then there's a little downstairs, like shower room, walls of ceilings, then a kitchen, then a little study, then a little utility room. And I've done all 3 bathroom ceilings, the 2 bathroom walls, the kitchen ceiling and wall. What's that?
You working apparently.
Oh. That's a weird way of applying paint with a hammer. Get that bloody slider down. And done the kitchen and the study and the utility room. All on my Todd, so we only got to go there Monday. And I thought I'd give Dad a little bit to do.
Careful, because Bradshaw listens to this. Don't give away too many secrets.
Oh yeah, what are we actually doing Monday?
Yeah, exactly.
The day off with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where my content was of the week, was being at work.
Yeah, well, same as mine.
Apart from Wednesday.
Yeah, when I made
apart from the 2 hours that you have in the pub every day.
Don't go in the pub for 2 hours, Ryan.
Good hour and a half.
Only because the customer took a CSD for lunch, so that.
What about Thursday?
When the Thursday?
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't.
Yeah, that's how you know Dad's lying.
His voice goes up.
Ticking up.
That's it. Ryan's lying. He's talking. Yeah, his mouth moves, lips move. Anyway, so let's get back to My Builder. This is an interesting story.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. This was
from the paint and decorating show.
Yeah,
we met up with someone that told us a little story about My Builder. And if anybody that's used My Builder will know that you don't get, not that you never get, you don't get any refunds. They just do not give you refunds for anything.
But then Get a Painter, they do, don't they?
Get a Painter, very good.
If you can't get hold of the customer, you can.
Well, the number's wrong. They were. I haven't used them for ages, but when I did use them, they were very sort of amenable to
the Decorators.
a refund. Yeah, but My Builder. Something we were told from an ex-employee is that to look at their leads, if because some of them may not be quite what
legitimate
made out to be.
Yeah, which to be fair, I think we should start setting up that scam.
What? It's not a scam. You can't say it's a scam.
It kind of is a scam.
Well,
putting up leads that people buy for on your own platform to give yourself money when those leads go nowhere.
Yeah, but you don't know this, do you? You just have something we've heard. So be a bit,
Why be a bit? It's obvious. It's quite obvious. There's
so what they anyway. The way to spot them is that it will be a customer.
The way to spot these things that might not be actual things, but
the way to spot
they're definitely enough of a thing that you can spot them.
The way to spot these things are the customer is looking for the work has had no previous feedback. They've not They've not posted any previous jobs. So when you see the customer's whatever it is username,
there's a brand new profile
next to it. There's normally if they've had 10 jobs done or they've they've used My Builder before.
They've used that platform before.
There'll be feedback to the contractor or to the person, the tradesman that's done the work. So if they haven't got any of that, then it's sort of like
a bit of a red flag.
Bit of a red flag that this is a bit of a may not be
a dud job.
Yeah.
Why are you dancing around it?
Because I'm trying.
When have we ever danced around anything?
I'm trying to be tactful.
Why? We're not tactful. If we wanted to be tactful, we'd still be on fixed radio. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, fixed radio. I'm going to tell you about this.
Yeah, let's go on about that in a minute. But yeah, so these My Builder leads are essentially just they're false leads. So
they are,
because obviously that money doesn't go anywhere but to my builder, which, because you pay for the lead. But
once you're shortlisted.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But then you get shortlisted along with 5 other people.
And then you find out that the number's not
wrong,
or you can't go to the customer, they're not returning your call.
Yeah, anything like that.
That's the annoying thing. Even if
so
you
then they just walk away and pocketed your money. You're out of pocket. You don't get anything in return for it.
Yeah.
I think we should do it. Let's start up something like that.
Why would you do that?
People's money. Well, because everyone else is doing it. Why not us?
Because we're not everybody else, Ryan. We've got a bit of integrity and a few principles. Yeah, so you should have.
Yeah.
Anyway, Fixed Radio. Hang on, let me take my build off my list.
Speaking of integrity and principles, now let's slag off Fixed Radio for 10 minutes.
I got a phone call the other day. Well, no, Ryan and I were talking because the Tuesday we were at the Paint and Decorating show. They put on a best of us, didn't they?
Yeah,
on Fixed Radio.
About 10 minutes worth of content.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm surprised they found an hour of good content. But anyway, so they put on a best of us on the Tuesday. We were at the Paint and Decorating show, as Brewers told us that they were doing. Anyway, last Tuesday, Ryan and I were talking and thought it'd be interesting because it was still our names on the schedule
on the app.
So we thought, well, that'd be interesting to see what happens. Tuned in, only to find out they repeated our last show.
Yeah, they'd not even gone back to a couple months before
when there's new content.
Yeah, not new, but like people have forgotten about it maybe, or like it might have just slipped their mind. They actually just played the most recent live show that we'd done.
See, I was a bit pissed.
Which was our last show.
Yeah, and I was a bit fed up with that.
Yeah.
But then Ryan did say we didn't.
See, I'm not allowed to go.
I did stop myself. Yeah.
No, you didn't stop yourself. You full on said it. What you on about?
All right, sorry.
Oh no, sorry. We've got to stop the podcast and start it all over again now.
All right, I was jolly well tired of really rather annoyed about it.
Yeah, were you?
I was really rather
welcome to
perturbed.
The Monday podcast.
I was really rather perturbed to find out they'd done this. Anyway, Ryan, I've lost my track now. I was annoyed that I was a bit upset that they'd done it. Yeah. Oh, but the good thing Ryan said was, in that last one, we did mention our podcast quite a bit.
Every link we spoke about the podcast. That was even the time where I got onto their Twitter account and tweeted a link to the podcast out on Fixed Radio's Twitter.
So it wasn't all bad. Anyway, moving on from that. So that was on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Thursday, I got a phone call from Fixed Radio
because Dad sent a tweet out tagging maybe some people that were
maybe
involved with the Fixed Radio show that are probably still involved with Fix but might not know that we're not doing it anymore.
Well, they do know we're not doing it because we told them at the show, didn't we?
Yeah, they know now.
Yeah, but we did tell them at the show as well because we were speaking to someone in marketing at the show and they said, and we said, well, no, we're not actually doing it.
Anything with them anymore. Oh, you not?
So they've known since the end of November we're not actually doing anything for them. But so I wasn't telling them anything they didn't know, to be honest.
Yeah, but
then we got a phone call saying that we should play nicely. But
there's playing nicely, and then there's it's play nice, but we don't have to really play that nice.
Well,
but
no,
play nice.
I just feel like we've actually been taken for a bit.
We were ridden quite gently for about 3 months, and now we're getting ridden a little bit harder. The fact we're not even there anymore, and they're still using.
Yeah,
it's about my image. For me, it's about them using my image without my consent. It's all about consent.
And if you get in a conversation with Fixed Radio or Graham or anybody, all you'll get told is it's only an hour a week. What are you worried about? They haven't got time for you. So why
out of 147 hours, you're only an hour. Yeah. What does it matter?
So basically, Graham, it's only an hour a week. Why are you phoning me and telling me why are you worried?
Yeah,
it's an hour a week.
Exactly.
Get over it. So yeah, I'm a little bit annoyed because I think we did work. We worked hard, like Tom was saying on Friday. We did work hard on finding content and. We've honestly thought we might go somewhere, and we might get offered a little bit more than £75 a show.
Yeah, which is a bit of a mick take.
Thank you, Ryan.
I can go back slugging bricks. I say this every time. I go back slugging bricks on site for £75.
But again, why? Surely they've done their research and they know what a tradesman is on a day. Yeah. So when they come,
well, they've probably used your pricing book from 1976. Yeah, probably here as well.
But I spoke to Tom the other day, and he was exactly the same. He said, you're better off working because it's just.
I think, mate, just a worker, you must be on what, £30 to £40 a day. And that must be what you're like. You must be able to survive on that, you peasant.
Anyway, so maybe
Sorry for that little peek there,
this is the
people.
last. We did say it in the last podcast, but maybe this is the last bit of fix we're going to talk about.
The death throws, the fix rate.
But who knows? There could be more
Yeah.
tweets. There could be more.
That's what I mean. We between the two of us, we just enjoy riling people up. Really, That's all it is. We just like winding people up, and then I like winding you up. You like winding everyone else up. I like winding people on Facebook up.
Yeah, but why are they that worried about us? We spoke, and to be fair, at the show they come to us. That woman, wasn't it? That Nikki.
Yeah.
You, Trevor, and Ryan.
God, how'd you know us?
Yeah. Do you do fixed? Yeah. Do you fix? Yeah. Well, we did do. Well, what do you mean? It went from there, didn't it?
Yeah.
So they knew from then that we weren't doing it.
Oh well.
Anyway, it's all right. I'm going to tick that off my list.
That's it. Oh no.
No,
what's the ladder story?
Well, all right. You're going to make me do it.
What is it? What?
The email we got from Gary.
No, go on.
Gary Eden emailed us in.
Oh yeah, you can do the readout this time.
Well, you got one to do in a minute. We were Ryan thinks we spoke about this before, but we haven't. I don't think we have.
Ryan thinks we spoke about this before, but he's wrong.
He's wrong.
He's just wrong.
And I've even got to say sorry about this. We spoke a few podcasts around. We have spoken in a podcast about me and my ladders, didn't we? On the roof of the van. No,
it wasn't
not mine.
about the ladders.
It was about matey
throwing
in
litter out of the A31 because you're a slob.
It wasn't that one. It was about matey in his Focus on the roundabout and our van being sign written.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
No, because you played the voicemail that the matey sent you of you're throwing litter out of the A31.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. But before
no, we didn't speak. We've not spoken on the podcast about you losing your ladders on the A31.
And I haven't spoken about that. We spoke about the matey in the Focus on the roundabout that
Have we?
phoned up
I don't
the
think
van.
we did.
We speak about that on the radio show.
I think we might have done.
No, I'm sure we.
God,
If anybody can remember about us speaking about,
if you could call in now,
and help us out,
yeah, just give us a little
lost track of where we are.
Somehow travel back in time to
So anyway,
2:47 on a Saturday.
a while ago, I either got abuse from a bloke that thrown out rubbish on the A31 that wasn't me, and he phoned the van, or used a number on the van to phone, or we also tooted a bloke on a Focus going around a roundabout, drifting around a roundabout,
drifting around a roundabout,
and he phoned the van to ask me why we tooted him. Anyway, so it all goes back to that sort of story about having your van sign written and people getting in contact with you.
Yeah.
Now that's a big build-up for a very short email. So
a big build up for a short outcome is pretty much how most of my dates have gone.
So this is from Gary Eden. Thanks for emailing in, Gary. And he's saying that he was driving down the road and someone phoned him because they looked on the top of his van and he hadn't fastened down his ladders, so he had to stop and put some bungees on. That was that's it. Sorry.
I think we're still on Two Decorators and a Microphone. We're just still getting to grips with this whole storytelling.
Yeah, I know we make it sound easy, but believe me, it's really hard.
I know we sound really slick and professional, and you're all fully engaged.
So, but I've also going back to that. I've done the same thing. I drove down the A31, which won't mean anything to anybody unless they're very, very, very local to us. It's probably about a 3-mile dual carriageway. And I'd done exactly the same. Put my ladders on the roof of the van, done it outside, put the ladders on, drove home, and then all of a sudden I heard this clattering on the roof, looked in my mirrors, and then saw my steps in the middle of the outside lane of the dual carriageway.
And they do like a good blast on that bit of Julie as well. There's no speed cameras and it is quite fun. Not that I speed.
No, but it was. There's been a few accidents down that road as well, hasn't there? Yeah. Where people do go quite nippily. Yeah. So... yeah, you think,
nipply?
Yeah.
Right. Oh, mate.
Yeah, maybe nipply's not the word. Of all the words to use, nipply is not the one. You know when you're nipping along, that's what I meant, nipping along quite fast.
Yeah, I know what you want, but...
not nipply.
Nipply's a little bit different.
Oh, dear. It's been a long week, isn't it? So don't mention nipply. If you're going fast, you're not nipply along and nipple. Anyway, ladders come off. We're in the fast lane. I have to go and pick them all. Very good. Ryan, now you can take over for a bit.
I'll try not to come out with any other double entendres. What am I taking over with?
I don't know. You've got an email.
Yeah, I've got an email. It's a very meta email.
What's that mean?
Meta,
Yeah.
like about the workings of the show.
Is it?
Yeah, he's talking about
Cool.
some things that he'd like us to see done, like some things he'd like to see us do. There we go. There's words. There's a fully formed
Come on,
sentence.
well done.
Oh,
and also a suggestion at the end.
Yeah, I think we'll keep that for a bit.
Will we?
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to know.
Keep that one under wraps. It's
Okay.
nice to know.
You do like a few secrets, don't you?
Yeah, I'm learning from our friend Colin Bidwell,
Why can't we just
the man of 1,000 secrets.
Why can't we just have be open and honest? And
Because
say,
you're more open than
yeah, well, it doesn't hurt, does it? Then the guys, the guys that are loyal and
dodgy
listen.
Wi-Fi.
Huh?
I was trying to think of something that's quite open, and I said a dodgy Wi-Fi.
Yeah, but people that listen are entitled to know that we're trying to,
But I just don't think it's appropriate at the moment.
Okay.
We spoke about this before we started the podcast. Why are we speaking about it again?
So I thought you seemed to have cheered up. You may have been more approachable.
No.
Okay. You were very miserable before we started.
Yeah, and that's why I'm now stood up, because it puts a bit of energy in.
Right, go on
I'll
and
sit
get
down again, I'll fall asleep.
Get on with your email. Who's it from?
It is from Calvin. It just says, "Hello, Trevor and Ryan. Just recently found your podcast and enjoying it very much. I like the relaxed feel to the show and the discussions about business questions. A lot of it is so relatable and he really appreciates it."
Tell you what, if you like that, check out our forum on Facebook, owning the decorating company.
Yeah, owning a decorating business.
Yeah.
For the admin of the forum. You should really know the title.
Yeah. It's doing quite
it's
well.
It's called running, owning, decorating business company something.
It's called owning a decorating business. It's not hard to find. Just look it up. But if that's the sort of thing,
to find our podcast, you'll be able to find that forum.
If that's sort of thing you're interested in, this sort of business side of things, definitely look into that forum.
But he's saying here that, for example, one week we could discuss the varieties of fillers, brushes, cork, sealant, all that stuff. Do some trials, just to double check that not using subpar stuff. And manufacturers always claim that their stuff's the best of the best. But my thing with that is that we're actually decorators. We are trying to run jobs, and a lot of the time we don't try new stuff
because we
like what we use,
because we like decorators.
We know what we like. It's a lot of the time, like if I've found an emulsion that I really like and I know is good for this certain type of job, why would I go and risk something else when I know that stuff's quite good? Unless something twigs that is saying that this is actually that much better that it's worth a try, like the Indeco Plus over another emulsion. But I had good things about it. Read the tech sheet and it was all good. So I used that. But cork. I found a cork that I like a year and a half ago. I've not used anything since. And the stuff that I have used, I've not liked. The Brewer's Ultimate cork, I didn't really get along with. And
you won't be the only one to have problems with that, will you?
Yeah, but the Isomat cork, I've not had one struggle with it. Not had one issue. The only thing that gets me sometimes is, and I think it's more the gun than it is the cork, but it doesn't bead on properly. But I think that's me than the cork. That's me.
Well, when it doesn't,
when you're putting it along the line and then it doesn't stick up one end,
falls out.
It just
I've had that
dangles
too.
at you.
I've had that. I don't know if it's that Isomat.
I don't know. I'm more inclined to think that it's me getting the angle of the dangle up against, cutting the nozzle where I'm holding the gun, that sort of thing. I don't think it is the cork. I think it's me.
Yeah.
But
but I mean, there's no reason.
I don't know why. I'm not going to go and try another cork that's potentially going to cause problems and then make me have to do other stuff. Because I found this one, it works really well, and
but I think that's like a lot of decorators. But there is
the
trouble is you don't want to test out new stuff on a job because of the exact. But then
when I get home, I don't want to.
No, but then if you do then bring it back and you paint it on a bit of skirting that's not in a proper situation, then it's is it that reliable? It might well be, but even if you're painting a bit of skirting on a flat surface.
It's still not the same.
Or
doesn't have a bit of dust over it. Doesn't have
No.
the chippy throwing MDF
So-
over it.
you still have to take that into account. But it might be it might be worth looking into. We could have a little. But
Yeah.
again, it's the same thing when you're trying to do a YouTube video on a job. You know, it's just it takes. You look at me, but it takes planning, doesn't it? You know.
Yeah. I'm
You know-
I'm looking at you because you're making out that making a YouTube video on a job is work.
What do you mean? I didn't say it was work.
Well, I don't know. I was just trying to give you a bit of
Yeah.
You'll moan at me if I say it. The
Yeah.
S word. Because we're children and we're not allowed to have swear words. Swear words.
We've had this conversation.
Naughty words aren't allowed.
We've had this conversation.
It's a safe space.
It's
Because adults can't have swear words.
but people.
Because there might be children about.
Some people,
On a job site.
believe it or not, some people like to listen to our podcast in customers' houses without having headphones on, and therefore
Well then, put
don't.
some headphones on.
If you'd be so kind.
Yes. Because then I can swear.
Yeah, but it's not all about you, is it?
Yeah, it is. I'm 50% of this fucking thing. All right, we had this.
Oh, please
earlier.
don't. Let's not go down this road.
Just
Let's not go down this.
I won't say it again.
Right.
I won't. Skip back 10, 15 seconds, whatever it is.
I
You hear
know.
that little. It's
Self-censoring.
not a word, yeah. That little self-censoring that I done there. Is that acceptable or not? Because I need something. So when I get fired up, I want to have a swear word. I want to have a swear, please.
Well, let's look at Mondays as like a chill day, easing into the week, and then by the time we get to Thursdays, you can go for it.
oh yeah.
You went for it on the last one. You got
What?
4 in a row.
No, yeah, I did.
So you
I
know.
was talking about politicians. That's all
Yeah.
right. That's allowed.
Yeah, that should goes with that territory, I suppose.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
I think you have to change your name to Deepole to that if you become.
can we get back to the email? We were talking about products and testing, and is that all right? You don't mind, do you? That's where we were.
Well, it just takes me. It's
okay,
words.
right?
I'm a decorator. I'm not a reader.
A reader.
A reader? I don't know those words.
You can barely
So
write.
he, what else he said was
About testing, getting different.
Yeah,
Which is a good idea. I think it's a good idea.
most of it was just about testing different products and what are they like within a price range, because you're saying here that you found putty from £3.50 to £12. Is there that much difference in putty? It's linseed oil putty between £3.50 and £12. But we don't need any more putty because Dad's got about 25 kilos of putty.
Or are you talking about that glazer putty in a tube? Because you get that gets quite expensive, doesn't it? That repair care stuff
He
that we used.
He said linseed oil putty.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Like I said.
what's that?
That was me moving the mic.
Oh, yeah. That is quite an extreme price range, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, most of it.
It could well be worth looking into, couldn't it?
Yeah, but to be honest, I don't have the effort to go into doing that.
Well, you don't have an effort, much effort to do a lot, to be honest.
Let's to be fair,
Yeah.
is that like I said earlier, you're not. The listeners aren't idiots. Like if you're either, it tends to be like people sometimes look at trades. Sorry,
Excuse
pardon
me.
Look at trades as a bit dull sometimes. Look at them as a bit like tradesmen are a bit dopey, but
Who?
just the general look sometimes, like people other than tradesmen.
I tell you, who's trying to improve the image of the builder?
Who?
Fixed Radio. Have you heard their adverts? Your favourite one?
Yeah, but see, that's exactly what I mean.
Stereotypical.
So,
All right, mate.
So
yeah.
every like not every, but most of the builder ads, hello mate, the Larry Sparky couldn't get his wires in, so I had to call up this company. And
What was the company? What was the company? Because they might sponsor us. I can't remember.
And,
Yeah. Why'd you do that?
There's a couple of builders you meet like that, but in reality, if they might talk like that and they might come across like that, but they're still running a business behind it. They're still having to operate.
Dumb down.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Don't do it.
So I can't remember what my point was now.
Have I actually put you completely off your stride?
No, I found it.
Okay,
it.
we're back on air.
Yeah, so buy it yourself and have a test. You tell us what you think is good, and then we might get it and look into it.
Good
Because
idea.
I don't have the effort to sit at home. When I get home, I want to make food, play on my computer, or watch TV. I don't want to get home and
We can still
stuff
do
on
it.
Mr.
I mean, it's
you
a little.
can still do it.
It's
I'm not gonna
It's a
do
little
it.
bit harder in the winter, isn't it? When you come in and it's all dark and miserable, and you just want to flipping hibernate for the evening.
Yeah.
But in the summer, maybe when it's a days
No,
of
I think I still wouldn't be able to find the effort. To be honest, not gonna lie to you. But I don't. Yeah, just do it yourself.
well, maybe it's a maybe
You're grown ups. You know what's good and what's bad. You've been running. You've been doing it. I'll tell you who's the best person to tell you what you think a good product is. Yourself. Do you know what I mean? Because I hold a brush differently how Dad holds a brush. I cut a room in differently to how Dad cuts a room in.
I'm really getting a feeling of,
But no, do you know,
I know what you're saying. Yeah, and
like,
it's the same. It's
we've all
got our own opinions, and it is true. Just because we say it's good or we say it's
don't take our
bad
word for gospel
doesn't mean it's just.
You might come along to one of our jobs and think, how do these two get hired?
Yeah.
To do any work.
Yeah.
And then we might go along to one of yours and think, Jesus, this mate calls himself a painter.
And it's so easy. It's the easiest thing in the world to rip apart other people's work. Exactly.
And we all do it when we go into a restaurant and spot the wallpaper in and go, matches out there.
The person we're working for at the moment, he is the worst, isn't he?
For what?
Just ripping people's work apart.
Oh yeah.
And it's so easy.
It is. It's the easiest thing in the world to take.
And if you'd have followed his plastering, then.
Yeah.
But, anyway, Michael.
So, yeah, I mean, I understand that maybe try different products out and blah, 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 but at the same time, I can't be arsed, to be honest with you. if I find something that I'm interested in, like off my own back, I find it and think, oh, this looks quite good.
I'll tell you what we could do. We could actually put a few products together and put it on our Twitter or something, and then see a choice of 3 or 4, and whoever vote, and then we could go do it that way, so it cuts down all the rubbish.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah,
I'm not going to do it.
I know you. Well, I'm getting the feeling we're not going to do it, Ryan.
No, you could definitely do it.
I know, but
I'm not.
I'm getting the feeling you're not really going to want to put much into this.
Yeah. If I tell you what, if people want the way to do it, we could run through the things that we do use.
Yeah.
Quite easily. I could go through my brushes, what tools I use, what I like out of this, and that, but I really don't have the effort to sit there with 10 different tubs of paint, 6 different types of cork, and a big board
we were
all
saying this,
labelled
yeah,
on.
but we were saying this
and
the other
it
day.
doesn't really make much of a difference.
We were saying this the other day about brushes, weren't we?
Yeah.
Nowadays, you're very hard. It's the difference between brushes. They're all pretty good, really.
Yeah.
For what you're paying, they're all reasonable. You should be able to get a reasonable finish with most of them.
Yeah.
There are a few that are rubbish, but
you'll be
generally
you'll be able to spot them because they'll be on the shelves in like Home Base and B&Q.
Yeah.
If you go to an actual Decorators merchant, pick up a Corona, you pick up a Purdy, you pick up like a known brand,
Picasso or something like that. Yeah,
they're
all going to be reasonably.
Yeah.
You should be able to do a fair job with any of those.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with paint as well. Like, if you give me blank tins, one of them had Leyland vinyl matte in it, one of them had Crown, one of them had Johnson's, one of them had Dulux. I don't think I'll be able to tell you the difference by the time I've put them on. If it was in like some light pastel-y colour, maybe if it was like a rich, deep colour, or maybe if it was like one of the durables or something like that. But a vinyl matte just goes on the wall, looks alright, covers in 2, banging.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be able to tell you much more than that. With a
and again, most paints should be able to cover in 2, shouldn't they?
Exactly.
So
you're
just looking at finer and finer margins of difference,
just little difference. Oh, this one's got 5,000 more scrubs.
And
I reckon if some Doris is scrubbing one bit of wall down 25,000 times before she gets it repainted again, she needs to stop.
I mean, you can narrow it down, can't you? Because people have got paints they like, but it's the other stuff. It is fillers. It is corks, stuff that does change, and
yeah, it does have a little bit. Like,
so we can reduce the list down a little bit. We haven't got a, we're not talking about.
Same again, and I moan about like some corks giving me jip and stuff like that, but that is just me being fussy. It is that I can't go straight over it. If I left it for 10 minutes and went and had a fag or found something else to do and let it dry for a minute, then they'll probably all be quite the same. But the isomat one, I can go straight over the top of. I can have the cork gun in one hand and my brush in the other and do that.
I tell you what we have been using, not so much that, but the builder we're working with has used this CT1 stuff. That's good because when you use grip fill,
yeah,
Chippy's a favourite. You put grip fill something to a wall, and then you've got that bit that squeezes up in the gap at the top of the skirting or something like that all around the architrave. Then you have to get a knife to it, and with this CT1 you can stick it with that, and if it squeezes over you can actually use it like cork. So it
like
moulds into the gap, and then you just go over the top of it, so you haven't got to worry about I don't know what's in it, but
I can't say I've used CT1 yet, so
no, but my Michael hasn't. Michael works quite well. Why am I calling him Michael when every other time I call him something I better not say, because that'll be his full name and then it'll give it away, won't it?
Yeah.
Don't give him too much exposure, do we?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll get his address up as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You got his phone number?
Yeah, I do have his national insurance number though.
And his card details.
So
generally,
a lot of the time is they're all pretty much the same sort of thing, really.
Yeah, we're pretty much.
I reckon that'd actually be quite a good little. Maybe we should do that. Maybe get a litre of Johnson's, a litre of Dulux,
and just put it in, decant it into something else.
Yeah, or just wrap masking tape around it or something, just so you can't tell what tin's what.
Yeah.
And then I
you'd be up for that, would you?
I don't. Yeah, but just to prove a point that I don't think most of the things you can tell that much of a difference anymore.
That would be quite good.
You know.
You should do that.
So Smith and Roger, which is a little bit easier to work with than Bin, but really, if you're just putting something on for 2 minutes, if you're just out slapping a bit of shellac on something, the improved work time and the less smell and the things like that, they're not.
The biggest thing in there though is the brushes, isn't it? Don't get mullered so easily.
Yeah, but they still get mullered, but not as easily. Like you said, it's very marginal differences between products anymore.
Yeah,
you know, like if you got, I can't even think. Maybe like, you know, if you had Scuff X and then Leyland water-based gloss or satin, then there might be a bit of difference in that.
Because it's two different products, isn't it? Yeah,
but there is a huge price difference.
They're not even in the same league, are they? That's the thing.
Exactly. Like one's 25 quid a tin, the other's 65 quid a tin.
And you can't compare them, can you? Because one's doing one thing and one's, you know, but you've got to go to those extremes to find a difference.
Yeah,
that's
find a half. Find enough of a difference to talk about it. But then you know, I can't tell the difference between really like, let's say, Easy Fill, the generic Easy Fill, Polyfiller. You know, the general use Toupret, all of those things. There's not. I can't really notice much of a difference. I do use Toupret TX110 or Easy Fill 20, but that's just because I walked in the shop and I said I need some sort of rapid set interior filler. And
again, that's exactly what it is, isn't it? It's not. It's the time it takes to dry is the important thing.
Yeah.
Basically, you know, is how quick it dries, how quick you can get on it, get it sanded down, and get on with your job.
Yeah, I mean, so I understand the comparisons between products, but a lot of the time as well, there's not much point, really, is there? You know, like a lot of decorators kind of know what they like, and if you're not getting on with something, then you'll find something else to use. Like, I don't.
But the idea is we try and help each other. You know, we help each other along that road of finding.
But that's what I mean. I mean, we've found most of our stuff. I've found the cork that I like. So why am I now going to spend one of my evenings, like I think it was Mike or someone like that off of the Decorators forum, had like a board with 8 different types of cork, and it had a bead of cork down it, and then half of it was brushed over with paint, and the other half wasn't brushed over. Blah blah blah. No, I like using Isomat. There you go, Isomastic A, I think it's called, but the Isomat cork.
But this is how people sort of move on and find better products, and you know.
Well, there you go. I've just told people try out the Isomat cork because I think it's really good. I don't need to trial and this one is. Well, because 2 minutes sooner, you can paint over the top of it.
If that's what they want to do, then fine, let them do it.
You know, like it doesn't undercoat. We use half primer. There you go. If you've not,
that's not an undercoat, by the way. It's an adhesion primer.
Okay, an adhesion primer.
Just thought I'd correct you there.
Yeah,
because
he still thinks it seals an outside though. Yeah. Those external timber doors, they'll be fine with a bit of half primer sealing them up. Oh wait, they're swollen.
They haven't.
There you go. Put me down. I'll put you down.
I wasn't asked to do the outside. It was our job was to do the inside. So don't even start with me. It wasn't our job to do the outside.
You were the one that started with me.
Yes,
mate.
I'm just saying. When you asked to price a kitchen,
excuse me, listeners, we're about to get into a punch up. One moment, please.
Hold tight. Yes. No, I haven't got a, anyway. But
let's not go too far into this because
no. So anything else to add, Ryan George?
Yeah, Oh, I mean,
basically on this podcast, you've not added much content at all. If you don't mind me saying.
I've just spent the last 20 minutes talking.
I'll tell you what we else have.
Mr. Put down.
I'll tell you what we have tried.
What?
I apologise. I didn't mean to put you down. Andura.
Spent 24 years doing it.
I know. I was doing it before.
What about it?
I was doing it before you were born. Did not hear.
Is that the size of your bump, love?
Yeah.
Is that how big you're going to get? That's not good enough.
You were a big baby, didn't you know that?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Came out choking, didn't I? Should have left me.
Oh, Ryan, why are you being like this? You got the spec sheet there, haven't you?
Yeah.
We've tried it this morning, so we're going to report back when we've
to be honest, Andura, the self-undercoating part of Andura is normally... Sorry, I think I was away from the mic there.
Yeah, you were a bit, yeah.
The self-undercoating Andura is pretty good. Like, the primer is, I think, if you need, like, a extra bit of grip, like, extra.
So is that an adhesion primer too, then? Or is it a wood primer?
I don't know.
Primer undercoat?
I'll just call it an adhesion primer because it seems like you've just learnt that and now want to use it on everything. So,
it's
an adhesion primer. It's also an emulsion. And
what are you talking about? Why are you
also not in? It's not.
No, it's not.
It's just an all-purpose primer, but it can go on. It can go on.
You were quite impressed with what?
It can go on gal that's been left outside for a couple of months. Yeah, it sticks to pretty much a lot of stuff.
But Ryan's used it this morning on bare softwood.
Just a bit of timber.
So we're back there on Tuesday. So maybe for Thursday we can.
The only thing I have to say. John about this
Andura.
in the spec sheet. John from Andura. You know?
Yeah.
See if you can make sense of this as well.
Are you going to read it out?
Well, to be fair, it's not like a thing about the product. It's just how the spec sheet's written. I think sometimes a bit of clearer English can go a long way on these.
I think you're right.
Like on the Caparol spec sheet, it actually tells you with the Wagner 5000 what pressures to put it at and how much to thin it down. So you don't even need to sit there dialing it in. You just pull up the spec sheet. But how many people read the spec sheet?
Exactly.
But it says a typical setup for airless spray application would be a minimum working pressure on paint of 133 bar 2000 lb/SQIN, which is why not just PSI?
Yeah.
With spray tip size 0.38 millimeters, 15 thou, and a spray tip angle of 65.
Will not give you an actual.
Yeah, I mean you can work it out from that. I think it'll probably be like a 315 tip.
But why not just say that?
Just put 315
or a range?
On there?
Yeah,
because that's maybe that might be the thing is they don't want to
be too specific.
A definite thing on there
because if it goes wrong, I'll use that tip.
I'll use the tip that you told us to use.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I suppose you got to look at it from both sides, haven't you?
And I think a lot of the time, we might have to. Maybe we'll do a little bit extra if we go anywhere to some paint manufacturers and do like a little combination podcast of what the industry's like from the manufacturer's side.
I think that's a good idea.
I think that the manufacturers struggle with us decorators quite a bit sometimes.
I think you're right.
Properly struggle with us because we can be an awkward bunch.
We had that conversation the other day, didn't we?
That's what made me think about it.
About, paint is manufactured under strict conditions and repeatable conditions.
Yeah, and
we spoke about this before.
I think we might have spoken it very quickly on the podcast. But I had it from a couple of suppliers that said what they hate is something going wrong, jump straight on Facebook into the forums. This is shite. This is shite. This is shite. Can I say that word? That's not a swear.
No, we have spoke about it before.
Am I allowed to swear words that are allowed past the watershed on BBC?
Yes, I think that's acceptable.
All right, cool.
But I think you're right. We have spoke about it before.
Yeah.
Because I had someone message me as well about it. But yeah, we just need. I think and it's the same as us. If we were working for a customer that went straight on Facebook, didn't bother calling us first.
Yeah, we'd be like, whoa, hold on.
And then
I'd
eventually
come round there and touch that bit in.
But now,
you can shove it because you've gone straight onto Facebook.
Yeah, which is fair enough, really. So sometimes we have spoke about it before, and it's something and I think manufacturers they don't want you to think their paint's rubbish.
No, and a lot of the time, like we were just saying, I don't think there's. Maybe like I used some Wix sealing emulsion the other day just because that was the only white that was on the job. The builder had it there.
Yeah.
That was bad. That was really bad. It somehow made it grin even more when I put more coats on. I don't know how. I was putting coats of paint on and I was seeing more plaster. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was, but that was like shockingly bad.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, if a paint goes wrong, it's probably something along the lines. Painting's all about prep. It's probably something to do with how you've prepped it.
Yeah.
You might not have dusted it down. You might have used the wrong type of degreaser. Like maybe Virasol doesn't like this type of paint, and you hadn't rinsed it enough, or you'd put the mixture in too strong, or you thinned it out a little bit too much. Like so many variations, and they have batches of 300 for the small manufacturers to 10,000 for the big ones. So if your tin of paint is going wrong and you call it a bad batch, why are 299 other tins of paint?
Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So out of that batch of 300, you managed to get the one tin that had the little bit of the mix that was wrong.
Yeah. So maybe. Yeah, I know we don't like to admit we've done it wrong. No one does.
They don't just pour it all into a big tub, mix it up with a cyclone, and then pour it into tins.
Yeah.
They do put the materials through QC as well. They do sit
quality
there and
control,
test
by
them.
the way. But yeah, and it is. Like I say, manufacturers don't want problems, and they're probably
And decorators don't want problems.
No, and it is sometimes you do have to admit, maybe I did try and cut a corner there. Maybe I
should have rubbed that down a little bit more.
Maybe
than
was
it
expecting a little bit too much from the product.
Yeah, And I can think more than once where I've done that. Where I've put something on thinking it'd smash it, and then gone, oh no, it's not done exactly what I thought. It wasn't supposed to do that, but it's not done what I thought it was going to do. Oh, I don't like it anymore.
Yeah. And it's exactly. You've set the expectation too high for it for the product.
Exactly.
But yeah, like I say, don't go on Facebook first. Contact the manufacturer,
especially if they're one of the smaller independents as well.
Yeah,
Because they will
because-
get back to you. I don't think can't say I've ever called up Dulux tech support or anything like that, but I can imagine they'd be pretty good at it.
To be honest, we don't use a lot of Dulux anyway,
no.
do we? Saying that.
Only if we've really forgotten to get any paint and we need to nip to Cane Adam in the morning.
But no, it's basically that's
Are we wrapping up?
Well, no, I'm just saying it's probably a good
We're
idea.
52 minutes in.
I know.
We say that we've not got any content for these podcasts and stuff like that, but we managed to natter for a good hour or so each time.
I know. Well, we're done all right.
And George, you remember when we first started on the radio? That was a struggle. We were writing out pretty much. We were writing out a script near on.
This is exactly what Tom said last night.
For the shows. And that was, in reality, I think that was all of about 16 minutes worth. So in the hour, about 16 minutes worth of actual talking.
Yeah, but
The rest was music and ads and
it's the thing, innit? When you start, it's like we've got the board up here with topics on that are about 4 weeks old, but it's just something you want to. It's like a safety blanket, don't you? So that if it does go wrong.
No, I don't need no safety blanket.
I know. No, because you know that if all else fails, you just take the mick out of me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there's
the easiest way.
Yeah, exactly.
Easy target.
But that's what Tom was saying. He said when he first started out doing his show, Tom the Sparky on Fix, like he said last night, because I'd listened, because I only listened because the week before he said he might jack. I thought that'd be quite interesting if he jacks on air. That'd be quite. But he didn't. Yeah.
I think you could get in trouble with the police for jacking it on air.
No, not jacking up, jacking in his job.
Oh, I meant that's an Americanism.
That's jerking.
Jacking it, bro.
I thought you were jerking.
Well, yeah, but that's why they call it jilling as well.
What?
Well,
Jilling?
you can jack off.
Yeah.
You can jill off.
I don't think we need to go down Jack and Gillian off at any routes down.
Well, you were going on about nipples earlier.
Oh,
so.
right. Let's just. So, where was I? Yes, and he was saying the same thing, that he used to prepare. And when I spoke to him in the week about it, I said we used to prepare, didn't we? I used to spend hours doing it.
To be fair, he put it up on his Twitter, on his Instagram, I think.
Did he?
Got a radio show tonight. What should I talk about?
Yeah.
It was about 2 hours before the show started.
And that's what I said to him. I said we started that we spend a Sunday afternoon writing it and getting it down.
Yeah.
Then it'd be we'd do it on the train.
Yeah, and then it'd be we'll figure it out when we get in the studio.
And then we got to it. Oh, we just sort out when we get to the studio, and then either write down a few ideas and go from there. And I think that's the way he's going. I don't think he's going to be. I don't think it's going to be too much.
Do you think there's much need? So if I'm spraying a new build,
where the hell's that come from?
I'm just,
I thought we could flow in along nicely there.
Yeah,
and then
we're spraying. If you let me talk,
okay,
it does link in with what we were just
all right,
about.
Sorry, go on then.
So,
spraying a new build.
Do you think there's much need to communicate with trades a little better? Because say I'm spraying a new build, and they've not yet got sockets in and stuff. I know some Sparkies like to write on the tails where it, so this, I don't know how, understand magic electric pixies. This set of lights is on this cable, this set of lights is on this one, and they write them on the thing.
Yeah.
So I make sure to go around and go, do you write on your cables, mate? I'll tape them up, because I will just blast straight over it with a sprayer. They all turn out white. Do you think there's much need to maybe talk better with other trades? Because we are the last one, and the amount of times people go, Chippies have left this for me, they've left this for me, Decorator will sort it out, Decorator will sort it out.
You had that today.
And a lot of people just think that, because the Decorator's sorted it out before and they've not complained, then it's all good to go. But then the Decorator gets in there and moans about it. I saw some really shoddy plastering on Facebook, and apparently the plasterer turned around to the customer because the customer said, this doesn't look too good. And apparently the plasterer said, they've got these new machines that will sort out any type of bad plastering. And he means Merkers and dust and sanders.
But that doesn't give me an excuse to do...
No, it doesn't. But then, do you think that it might be worth talking more with other trades to kind of learn, is this acceptable? Is this your... Because plumbers used to do guttering. That was a plumber's job, was to do
cast iron and all that,
downpipes, all that.
Yeah.
Was a plumber's job. And now it's moved into being a roofer's job. So, I was just thinking of maybe getting, get Tom on here and go, how could Decorators help you out? If we take faceplates off or we do X, Y, or Z. Because there's some Sparkies that are really nice. I know Tom does this. If they cut holes in the ceiling, then they'll put a box with all of the
That's it. I've seen
drywall.
Yeah, so that you can repair
plasterboard. Sorry, I'm not American.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't pick up on that.
No,
hey, buddy,
you're doing the drywall.
You got some drywall.
Hey, you got some mud.
You got some mud. You got some stucco.
Yeah, but no, it's just about having a little bit of consideration as well, isn't it?
Yeah. That's what I mean. So,
and also knowing the extent of what you can do and what you can't do.
Yeah, what? Because, I kind of can't, with the best of intention, fill 2 inches gap in a skirting.
Not even that noodle.
Yeah, not even with the noodle.
Have you heard about noodle? Not you, because I know you know, but...
everyone knows about noodle.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay. Should we just say in case
do you
they don't
want to just
know?
get a plug-in for Decorating Direct? Is that the angle?
Oh, that's a good idea. Do
Oh!
Decorating Direct.
Basically, but Dad wants to. So Decorating Direct, I've used long before. I've used them for ages, but they're really good for odd little
obscure
bits. Obscure, yeah. But they're also good for
general
stuff as well. But so with the Proform contractor brushes that we always go on about, they've got all of the different types of all of the different filament shapes, stock shapes, and handle shapes. They've got every type. And we found the wallpaper splicer.
Yeah,
the splicing tool was on there. The foam noodle. So it's like getting an old bit of newspaper and poking it behind the skirting sort of thing. Just kind of gives you something there to fill up to.
It comes in a nice. Does it come in a roll?
Yeah, it comes in a noodle. It's just
it's different sizes.
Yeah.
So that you can just squeeze it in there. I thought it was a bit gimmicky when Ryan bought some. I thought, oh yeah. But to be fair, I have used it and it is quite handy.
And the smaller one, what I do is because that's where I got the. See, this is why I like Decorating Direct is I actually do use a lot of their stuff without.
Well, like you say, you were using them before.
The rodless cork gun that I'm in love with. Is from Decorating Direct. But what I do is I wrap that up and I stuff it down the back of the cork tube. So then if I ever need it, it's just in the cork gun. I just pull it out the cork gun, pack it in there, and I'll just pack it down the back of the tube.
Good idea. But yeah, so that noodle, like I say, I thought, oh yeah. But no, it is proved quite handy, to be honest.
It's only a couple of quid to give it a go, give it a try. Also, what I've used it for is there's a bad old draft in my bedroom in this new place that I've moved into.
Yeah.
So I got the noodle and I've jammed it in between the window and the window frame just to seal that back up. That's all I had.
And it does squeeze down quite small as well. And then
it's only like not polystyrene. What's it? Yeah, it is polystyrene, isn't it? Not styrene.
No, it's like foamy.
Yeah.
Like those chips you get in packing. Those when you pack it all up with
popcorn.
Those.
Is that what they call it?
I don't know what they call it, but it's like those chips, isn't it? Those polystyrene. Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah.
Describe that really well.
You're not idiots. Just have a look on
Just
Decorating
Google
Direct.
it. Yeah.
Google it.
Why don't you go to Decorating Direct? I tell you, we might even put a link in the description of the show notes, guys.
You don't have to be as subtle if you want to mention something as well.
What?
Well,
I didn't.
Oh yeah, the phone.
I didn't. I was just. It was.
Big up Max though. Great website.
I was just thinking. It's nothing to do with that. You're the one that made a bigger thing of it. Yeah. Right. That's an hour now.
Is that it? Oh, it's tipped over to a full hour.
When we first started, we were going to do 30 minutes, weren't we?
What? I thought it.
Oh, we're going back to the notes.
Oh,
We got
more stuff that Dad's half inched to mine.
that's yours. You left it there from the other
no,
day.
I didn't. You pinched it from me. You robbing git.
Ryan has just found a dusting brush that Top Deck gave us, and now he's trying to accuse me.
And one of my screwdrivers, and he's got one of my Proform brushes.
What Ryan forgets is when he sits the other side of the desk, he takes all the stuff out of his pockets.
But
and
I'm not
leaves it.
sat down. I'm stood up.
Anyway, we will see you on
Next
Thursday.
Tuesday. See you next Thursday.
We'll see
if
you
you've
on-
made it this far, nipply.
Oh yeah, nipply.
Nipply.
I don't know how you're going to spell it, but spell it whatever way you want because you deserve it.
Yeah, because it's not a real word. It's just
No, something I made up. Anyway, see you Thursday.
peace. Sorry for that little slam down there. I threw my headphones on the desk.